Hey, your heads up to this 5-minute quickie. It's all about showing up, but not being too down when we don't, when we're inconsistent, when sometimes we don't always sing from our true voice. We don't, we're not the person we want to be. Because, do you know what? It's okay. Let's have a little 5-minute muse and just consider how we can continue to be the best version of ourselves. Have a listen after this.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, welcome back to the 5-minute quickie. A place where we're just going to muse and think about a few things. And I'll say now, there's no introduction or explanation about what the FMQ is going to be about. Not at the beginning of this. I'm going to throw it at the end. So if you're new here, just have a listen right at the very end and I'll explain everything about that. But for now, I just want you to muse or think or something I've been thinking about. Because we've talked about showing up. Showing up, being the best version of ourselves. We talk about that all the time. It's our thing that we strive for, I guess. And they even use a thing, that singing from our own voice. Singing from our own voice, being sort of vulnerable. But just things to aspire to. And they're all good stuff, isn't it? It's all good stuff. Because if we can aspire to do that, we're going to get somewhere. We're going to strive. That's striving. But the thing is, here's the thing. Sometimes we don't get there. Sometimes, we're not consistent. I know I'm not consistent. But the thing is, the reason we're not consistent, I think, is because we're still learning. We're still learning to be that better version of ourselves. Because if we were that better version of ourselves, we'd be still learning to be an even better version of ourselves, aren't we? We're learning to be the best, and it's evolving. And the thing is, we have to evolve, I guess, by learning from our mistakes. They're not failures. They're only a failure, I guess, if you don't learn from them. So to be the best version of yourself, you have to have experiences. You have to sometimes trip up a little bit and then get up again. Because as long as we've always got up more times than we've tripped over, we're going to get there, aren't we? So what I thought was, maybe we're comparing ourselves. We talk about comparing ourselves with others, the show reels of others. We see them on bloody social media and things like that. And we compare ourselves with their best and our worst. But this time, I think, when we aren't consistent and it brings you down a little bit, and berate ourselves, sometimes I think we're comparing where we are now with the show reel of who we want to be. Well, if we were that person who we want to be, there'd be another one, remember? So I think it's that comparison of where we were yesterday, maybe. Where were we a week ago? How far we've come. Yeah, we've tripped up, but even that is a great attribute of getting up and learning. So I just wanted to say to you, sometimes, when we strive and strive and strive, we don't always get there. And that's okay. Just be observant. Be aware. Because if we can have awareness where we are, doing our best, and really just try to hold ourselves to that highest level. And can we look back and say, well, yeah, I did do my best. There were times in the day, well, maybe, I wasn't that consistent. Maybe I did let myself down. But I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to learn from that. And that's how I think, if we could be consistent in that, that's how we're going to be consistent in being that better version of ourselves. And then we can keep striving to be even better. And we'll notice, I think, Mr. and Mrs. Serendipity come and knock at our door. and sorry, I put myself off there. And we just get lucky because we just get better at being who we are. And our voice becomes a better pitch, maybe. So we start singing from our real voice. It starts to come through us. People begin to see us, who we are. And that's great. That would be really great if we could just strive to do that. So that was my muse. I've been thinking about that myself, about my inconsistencies and why I was feeling bad about it. But that's life. Things come along blindside us. So don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind. And when you're kind, we like to be kind to others because that's, I think, part of that best version of ourselves. Be kind to yourself. And just take a bit of time out and go, what's my intention? What am I going to try to do? Not try. What do I anticipate I can do? And then go do it. Knowing that we may just trip up, but that's okay. Because we are attempting to be that best version of ourselves. Anyway, there you go. That was it. Showing up. But showing up and consistently showing up. And keep showing up. Hope there's something to think about. I really do. Just over your cup of tea, coffee, beer, glass of water, G&T, whatever it is for you. It's sometimes just good to sit back and become aware of what you're trying to do. And then learning from it. So, if you like that, please do share. Please do share this episode, whether it's by video or whether it's by the actual podcast itself. I'd prefer the podcast itself, but whatever you can do would be great. And I will see you the next time. So have fun, my friends. Have more fun than you can stand. And remember, it's time to fly. And after that, I'll tell you about the 5-minute quickie. Bye-bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, welcome to the 5-minute quickie. And if you're new here, just a little explanation what a 5-minute quickie podcast is with the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. But it's basically me just musing and hopefully getting you to muse, to think. Think about different things just over, say, 5 minutes, and maybe you'll take them away. Those thoughts, develop them, and maybe we can develop them together in a longer podcast. Sometimes they'll be, well, they're never 5 minutes, I'll tell you that now, or very rarely. There may even be a little process there, I don't know, but it's things that I've come across, read, heard, and just something I want to share with you. Just to, well, to think and to probe and get ourselves in a way that we can just keep striving to be that little bit different, a little bit better, so we can be the change we want to see in others and be the change we want to be in ourselves. Just a thought. Just becoming aware of maybe what is new, what we can do. When we start thinking of things like that, I believe it means we start to create those things as well. Because you have a feeling. The feeling that those thoughts generate, and that feeling will, I think, resonate into action and results. Anyway, that's a quick roundup intro of the 5-minute quickie.